So basically, they did what we asked. Hey, what's good everyone, Chris here, welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking about the new release, the Fujifilm X-S10. It's a hard to pronounce name, but Fujifilm came up with a new series today. This is the series that will not continue anything. It's not the new X-T4 or the X-T3 like people were thinking. This is a new series, and Fujifilm did a good job releasing something that will help a lot of content creators like myself, as well as photographers and videographers. This is a complete camera, and like I said in my previous videos, they actually came up with all the features that we were expecting to be in this camera. There are a few things that they're not there, but we'll talk about it. And unfortunately, I don't have the camera because we're not a huge channel, and Fujifilm doesn't consider us a reviewing channel for their cameras. Maybe in the future, but nonetheless, let's talk about our love, our Fujifilm. So the X-S10, it's gonna have a 26 megapixel X-Trans backside illuminating sensor, which means it's gonna be better in low light. Every pixel is illuminated from the back, which makes camera react better to low light situations. Also, it does have a 5-axis image stabilization. That's an IBIS for those of you who want to use short names, and that will be great if you want to shoot videos handheld, if you want to shoot again in low light and use this camera for all kinds of low light situation, because you will be able to slower the shutter speed a little bit and get sharp images without shaking, without anything else that is introduced by slowing the shutter speed. It also has an on-sensor face detection autofocus, and it's powered by a 3-inch 1.04 million dots screen on the back. That is a flip side screen. That means it's gonna flip just like the X-T4 on the side of the camera. I said before, this is one of my requirements, and there it is. I will use this camera for all these studio shots and for vlogging and everything that I'm gonna do outside for this channel and for myself, for my personal projects. It's gonna have a 2.36 million dots viewfinder. That is not amazing by the 2020 standards, but it's definitely good enough for those of you who are shooting photos. For video, it's gonna be a little bit hard to manual focus, if that are you into. And I think that they should come up with a bit better in terms of the EVF. Everyone these days are enjoying shooting through the EVF, especially on the Fujifilm cameras. They're bright, they're big. So a little bit over 3 million dots on the EVF, I think it would have been perfect. I think they will be able to come with a better EVF, but for the price that you're paying for this camera, and we're gonna get to that, I think that is more than enough. Almost 2.5 million dots on the EVF. It's perfect for pretty much any situation, especially if you're shooting in bright light, when the EVF is gonna be bright, and you'll be able to even manual focus. Also, it's gonna have a 30 frames per second burst with a crop, and a 20 frames per second burst without crop. That is great for shooting sports and fast action and everything else. It's gonna have an external mic and headphone socket that will provide the videographers or the content creators like me with more flexibility when it comes to audio. And now let's get to the video, because that's what I was looking actually in this camera. Not that the X-T3 that I'm shooting now, it's not amazing, but I want something dedicated for all my videos. I wanted to shoot my X-T3 willingly to all the shots and everything that I'm doing, and have it off that tripod that is on right now. So the X-S10, it's gonna shoot a DCI 4K up to 30 frames per second. That is great. And it's gonna shoot full HD at 240 frames per second. That is a very slow motion that you will get out of the camera. I can't wait to test all those features, but For what I heard, they perform very well, and I'm very happy to see that Fujifilm combined the slow motion feature along with IBIS. We'll be able to do all the B-rolls and everything handheld. That is great, and if you are getting into videography, I think this camera is gonna be for you, because the price, it's there. And because we're still talking about the price, let's say that this one is gonna cost $1,000 here in US, $999 to be exact. That is a great price for having such a good sensor. It's the CMOS X-Trans 4 sensor, and I believe that for those of you who were behind the fence and waiting for a great camera from Fujifilm, this is gonna be for you. If you're thinking about switching from other systems, I'm not talking necessarily about mirrorless, but if you are still on DSLRs, this will be the camera that will do a great transition. You have video, you have great photo capabilities. It will also include the 18 film simulation that Fujifilm is renowned for, including the Eternal Bleach and the last one in the X Pro 3 and the X-T3. So we have a very nice leeway when it comes to everything basically on the X-S10. This is a mid-range aps-c mirrorless camera. That's how it's considered. I'm thinking that with all the features that they packed in, it can be easily compared to the X-T3. There are a few things they're missing, and if I recall correctly, it's not gonna have an F-log. This will be a little bit cumbersome for people like me who are shooting their videos on an X-T3 or an X-T3 that provide F-log, because it's gonna be a bit harder to match the colors from those cameras, especially if you're using the X-S10 as a B camera. It will also come with the W126S battery that is in the X-T3 and the X-T3 and X Pro 3 and all the cameras except for the X-T3 that has a bigger battery. You'll also be able to charge through the PD port. It's an USB-C port, so you'll be able to charge your camera continuously through the USB-C port. I'm not sure if you can shoot while you're charging. We'll have to see that. And it also has one single UHS-1 slot. That is something that can be debatable, because the speed is going far these days, and everything is based on speed. Well, Fujifilm chose to save a little bit, and to be able to keep this camera under $1,000, they cut off the 2 card slots, and also they didn't provide an UHS-2 card slot. I don't think it's a big problem. It depends on what you're shooting, but for me, it won't probably affect my workflow that much. I would have loved to have 2 card slots and also an UHS-2 if possible, but like I said, the price that we're paying, it actually reflects all these cutouts that Fujifilm did. And finally, we're gonna have the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. This is normal. This is the normal these days, especially with the situations that we're in. And guys, these are all the specs that I verbally presented to you, but how they actually react, how they actually work in the real situation, in the real life, we have to wait. I will pre-order this camera today and have it as soon as possible. They're gonna ship it, I believe, November 19 or something like that. I know that there are a lot of YouTubers, friends of mine, that already have the camera. So if you want to go watch their first impressions, go ahead. There are a few videos up, and some of them are well-renowned YouTubers for shooting Fuji, and they actually do a great job talking about this brand and the cameras, not necessarily praising them, but doing like very truthful and very in-depth reviews of their cameras. This is for now, this is for today with the X-S10. I am very happy, and like I said on Twitter, if you're not following me, please go ahead and do. I will use this camera as my A cam for the studio as well as for vlogging when we're going outside to shoot landscapes or street photography or anything else. This will be the camera that I was actually waiting for a long time, and hopefully it will provide. I don't know much about the autofocus system, but if it's at least close to the X-T3 or X-T4, I'm pretty sure this will do well. Actually, this video is filmed on my Viltrox 33mm f1.4, and it can be considered a video test. So yeah, this camera is something that I, like I said, waited for a long time, and it's here, and I am happy to say that I'm gonna have it because I really wanted and I really need something very stable and very reliable in my studio for all these videos. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you were be here for the next videos, and we're gonna talk more about the X-S10, which apparently is a great camera for a lower price, lower than we all expected. And don't forget to subscribe, put these videos on your timeline and share them with your friends. Also give these videos a thumbs up. It's very important with the algorithm. These videos are gonna be viewed by many if you guys don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and I will definitely see you in a bit.